Okay, welcome. Early AM where I'm at. So excuse me if I sound tired, but gotta get this breakdown in, right? So Michael Bolton breaks his silence about his aggressive brain cancer diagnosis. In emotional first interview, the singer opens up to people in this week's cover about facing his glioblastoma diagnosis with his family by his side and his sense of humor intact. I guess we can go ahead and let's listen to Michael Bolton here.
Tell me how am I supposed to live without you? No matter.
I remember as a child, me and my friends, we would make fun of Michael Bolton, like, oh, you listen to Michael Bolton, right? Just saying.
How rich and famous and powerful you think you are, something can happen that can make you feel the opposite. Tell the people you love them. Take every hug and kiss you can get.
And that's why, in the face of what is a very uphill cancer battle, the 72-year-old music legend tells people he, quote, ain't going down without a fight.
Maybe hard, but I'll do it.
Michael was first diagnosed with an aggressive form of brain cancer called glioblastoma in December of 2023. Doctors performed an emergency surgery and were able to remove the tumor entirely. His treatment included chemotherapy and radiation, which has affected his short-term memory, speech, and mobility. And while this form of cancer has a 90% chance of returning, Michael says, quote, succumbing to the challenge is not an option. That's the way you find out what you're made of. So what makes this form of brain cancer so much more aggressive than others?
The fact that the tumor, that the cells grow so quickly. True glioblastoma is incurable.
What is the survival rate?
With no treatment, just surgery and conventional treatment is about 16 months. We have some, 5-year survivors. In general, it's the prognosis is poor.
Michael does not want to know his prognosis so he can remain hopeful. He will undergo MRIs every 2 months, and his most recent scan came back clear. As for early warning signs, Michael's symptoms included balance issues, headaches, and nausea. His family brushed it off as exhaustion from working nonstop.
If you catch it earlier, then you have a better chance of attacking it when it's still small.
And who doesn't remember that, right? When a man loves a woman, and check the hair, right? Look at the hair.
Michael says he will make the most of the time he has left with his 3 daughters and 6 grandchildren.
3 daughters and 6 grandchildren.
A lot of people have this number one mentality. I gotta be number one. But the staying power is the most important thing to me. I really plan on being around.
Okay, Michael. So we feel for you. Okay? But we have to get the breakdown in, okay? We got to get the breakdown in. And we're going to go to your Google page real quick. And you see a top story, Michael Bolton. Look at his name. It's Bolton right there, Boltin, but he goes Michael Bolton, Bolton. Award-winning singer, songwriter, actor, author, and philanthropist. Look at this, known as the King of Blue-Eyed Soul. There's another King connection right there. Remember, we just had Queen Elizabeth II's birthday. And remember, I just did a Sacramento Kings breakdown as they put Doug Christie on as the head coach going forward and removed the interim tag. Don't forget Prince, who died on Queen Elizabeth II's birthday. The Pope just died on that day as well. Now we get the King of Blue-Eyed Soul here. And his battle with brain cancer. He's sold 75 million records worldwide with 9 number one hits. On the U.S. Adult Contemporary chart, Bolton's career began in '75, and he initially focused on hard rock and heavy metal, even touring with Ozzy Osbourne as the frontman of the band Blackjack. All right. I thought this was interesting because I know growing up watching hockey, there's a guy named Eric Bolton. And look at that. Eric Bolton. And look, the spelling's slightly different, but you still get the same name, right? Eric Bolton had 26 on his jersey as a member of the Buffalo Sabres. Check that out. And cancer equals 26 as we get the Michael Bolton cancer story. And Michael Bolton is born on the 26th of February. You see that? February 26, 2/26, like 26. He's got the cancer, and you see how 26 syncs up with the language with the hockey player, Eric Bolton. Okay? This keeps happening every breakdown. I keep exposing this stuff. The stuff hits by the language. Yeah, you can go ahead and say it's a coincidence, but that's a lot of coincidences, isn't it? And if you want to say it's a coincidence, I'll be here daily, nonstop, showing these coincidences, right? So you see, once again, it's with the language. Buffalo Sabres, Eric Bolton, he played for other teams as well, but look, Buffalo B, Bolton B, and you get the 26 connection as well. And if you look at what was it, the last breakdown I did, Roberto Clemente, you get the 26 all in that breakdown as well. His birthday, August 18th, with Clemente, the baseball player who died in a plane crash. He played for the Pittsburgh Pirates, right? But his birthday is 8/18. 8 plus 18 is 26. And in that breakdown, I connected Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant dead on the 26th day of the year. And Bryant equals 26, right? Kobe Bryant, the legendary basketball player. So the 26 hits again in this breakdown here. There's also this guy named Eric Bolton, which you saw Michael Bolton had six or three children and six grandchildren. I didn't see Eric Bolton anywhere there. But look at Eric Bolton. So you get two Eric Boltons even. You get that Eric Bolton right there with the hockey player. And you get Eric Bolton. And again, this is Bolton. How Michael Bolton puts his name. You see that? So you get the Eric Bolton connection. You get another Eric. And it's also a singer, and he looks similar. But let's ask Google if Michael Bolton has a brother on the fly, okay? Does Michael Bolton have a brother? Look, they're saying that this guy is his brother right here. See that right there? So apparently no relation here. And then you get that Eric again. Look at that. They even look similar. Look at Michael and look at Eric here. But apparently no relation. Okay? And a songwriter, singer, guitarist, performer, and recording artist with over 15 years of music career experience and over 2,000 shows. So they're saying no relation, okay? But something's going on with the language, isn't there? Obviously, something's going on here, okay? Something shady. Now, check this out. Okay, so Michael Bolton. Remember they mentioned after he awoke from emergency brain surgery on December 4th, 2023, it served as a beacon of hope amid uncertainty, right? You see that right there? December 4th, that was 84 days before his birthday, and Bolton equals 84. Okay? Michael Bolton's voice. Well, I'll go ahead and read a little bit of this. Michael Bolton's voice has seen him through the best and worst of times of life. That soulful baritone helped him sell more than 75 million records and earned 2 Grammys throughout his 50-year career. And after he awoke from emergency brain surgery on December 4th, 2023, you see that? So emergency brain surgery 84 days before his birthday, and Bolton equals 84. He was in recovery in the hospital room singing within minutes. His daughter Holly, age 47, recalls, I remember one of the nurses at the hospital had no idea who he was. And she's like, do you know he sings like this? By 84 days before his, or after his, or excuse me, before his birthday, and Bolton equals 84, he had this emergency brain surgery in 2023. Okay, look, the singer opens up to people in this week's cover about facing his glioblastoma diagnosis with his family by his side and his sense of humor intact. Look at that, 72. And he is age 72 right now. And that's reverse reduction glioblastoma 72. And he's currently age 72. That also connects with the Roberto Clemente breakdown that I just did, because Roberto Clemente, he died in 1972. You see that right there? Roberto Clemente died at age 72, and the guy just jumped over the wall and hurt himself at the Pirates game. You see that? Man who fell 21-foot Clemente wall, fell from the 21-foot Clemente wall. I just did that breakdown. So Clemente dead in 1972. Michael Bolton, age 72, with this next story I'm doing. See that? Right? And I mentioned earlier that Clemente connection as well with the 26s. Clemente's birthday, 8/18. 8 plus 18 is 26, right? So this stuff is not a coincidence. And look at all these 38s. So that brain surgery for Michael Bolton in December 4th, 2023, that December 4 was the 338th day of the year. Okay? And notice his birthday here. His birthday, February 26th. Look at that, the 308th day of the year. So 338, like 38. Birthday, 308, like 38. Even Michael equals 138. And the original spelling of his name, Michael Bolton, 138 as well. So 38, 38, 38, 38. Check that out, right? Even the self-titled Michael Bolton album was released in 1983. The self-titled Michael Bolton was released, and look, April 83 with that self-titled album. And we just wrapped up April, and you get the 83, 38 connection, and you see this article here was in April. Look at the article, April. So you see how it syncs up with that self-titled album here. You get all the 38s. You get the 83. It even says he's the 83rd greatest artist of all time on Wikipedia here. Look at that. 83rd greatest artist of all time. Self-titled Michael Bolton album released in 83. Again, Michael 138. Michael Bolton 138. Birthday 308. Oh, excuse me. His birthday leaves 308 days in the year. And then that brain surgery on the 338th day of the year. My bad. So 38, 38, 38, 38, 83 with that release. 83rd greatest artist of all time. And those aren't good numbers. Those are actually like death numbers. Murder, death, killing, RIP, 38. Murder and morgue got the 83. So, our best wishes are with you and your character, Michael Bolton. Okay? A lot of times, these negative stories like this, they only lead one way, right? So, positive vibes with the character, right? With the character. These are just characters, okay? Even this, Billboard ranked him at the 83rd greatest artist of all time, as I mentioned, and has attained 9 number one hits on US adult contemporary chart. Look, Time, Love, and Tenderness remains his biggest selling album to date with over 16 million copies sold worldwide. It's not a coincidence that also released in April. You see that? So that anniversary again, we get this article right after that anniversary of that release of that album, April 23rd, 1991. And again, this article is April 30th. So we get this brain cancer story and we get this this more a negative story, right? Obviously you don't want to be diagnosed with cancer or anything, right? So this all happens right around the time and the anniversary of his greatest album and the release anniversary of Time, Love, and Tenderness. And again, you get April, and that's what, 9 years before this album, and you still get April again with his self-titled Michael Bolton album. Now he had other albums, but when I looked up his debut studio album, this is the one that was popping up. So I just went with this one, right? And it wasn't telling me when it popped up it was his debut studio album. Just to clarify that. But it is his self-titled album, Michael Bolton. And you see the April connection as this article with this brain cancer in April. He even released 26 studio albums since 1975. Look at that. There's another 26. And his birthday, 2/26, Cancer 26. And remember, we got the Eric Bolton connection with 26, the hockey player. Okay? Don't forget, Cancer also equals 44 in the language. And kill also does equal 44, okay? Just saying. And this is from another breakdown I'm working on right here. But Cancer does have that 44. You see that right there? And this still connects with that Roberto Clemente story because Roberto Clemente's got the 8/18 birthday. And Cancer also has 1/18 right there. And Clemente C, you even get Clemente C like Cancer, just showing you how these stories hit and they connect. But Clemente played 18 seasons as well in Major League Baseball. Look at how Cancer has 37. That Pittsburgh game where the man jumped over the wall, the Clemente wall. Again, this is on my channel. It's the last breakdown. Again, that was against the Chicago Cubs, and Chicago Cubs are CC like Cancer as well. But look at Cancer has 37. Chicago also has 37. So you can see how these stories connect. And yeah, I believe that's my last breakdown on this channel. I do a lot of breakdowns. So a lot of connections to this story here just simply by the numbers, this Clemente story with this guy jumping over the wall here. All right. All right, so let's go back over here. And that's not a coincidence, okay? And even the album, they said his greatest selling album to date, Time, Love, and Tenderness. Look at the release date. Or excuse me, look at Time, Love, and Tenderness. Obviously, that and symbol isn't going to have no value. So when you enter it in the calculator, look at that. In the reverse cipher, you get his birthday with his greatest album. In reverse, Time, Love, and Tenderness, 262. And his birthday is the 26th day of the second month, 262. Even Michael Bolton equals 57. And his birthday is the 57th day of the year. Sold more than 75 million records. 75, you get the same numbers. 75 is 57 reversed.
We're back with our GMA cover story, the latest on Michael Bolton's health battle. Eva Pilgrim back with that story. Hey, Eva.
Hey, George. His music has been the soundtrack to people's lives for over 5 decades. And now, for the first time, Michael Bolton is opening up about his battle with brain cancer and why he's not letting anything stop him from living. This morning, Michael Bolton opening up about his ongoing battle with brain cancer to People magazine.
Even brain equals 26. Brain B, Bolton B, brain equals 26. I forgot about that.
The Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter talking about his cancer for the first time, sharing, "You're reaching into your resources and resolve in a way that you never would have thought. Succumbing to the challenge is not an option." Bolton diagnosed with glioblastoma in 2023 after months of behaviors that, in hindsight, signaled to his family there was something wrong.
When this first came about, he just was not feeling well. He kind of fell ill during a performance. They didn't really know what was going on with him. And then he was just acting kind of forgetful. They had a family bowling tournament and he was, bowling out of turn, which was just a little bit of a peculiar thing to do.
His tumor was removed. He completed radiation and chemo last fall. However, he's still struggling with his short-term memory, speech, and mobility. About 12,000 cases of glioblastoma are diagnosed every year. The recurrence rate is about 90%. Bolton knows the odds. For now, he's focused on living, still taking voice lessons and spending time with his family. "I want to keep going. I feel there's still a lot to do on the fight side," he says. "I got a title for a song. Ain't going down without a fight." And we are all cheering for him. This issue of People magazine is available on newsstands nationwide.
They did a good job with that video. But yeah, even brain equals 26. Look at that. Brain's got 26, 44, and 37. 44, 26, and 37. Like cancer. Check that out. Notice how brain has 91 right there. And remember his greatest album released in 91, Time, Love, and Tenderness. And there's probably going to be more. Ooh, and even the brain surgery in December. Roberto Clemente died in December. So there's a lot of connections with this previous story and this previous breakdown with the man falling over the wall, the Clemente wall, at the Pirates game, PNC Park. Remember, Clemente died in 72, glioblastoma 72 with Bolton. And Bolton is currently age 72. So a lot of connections with that story. And you see, this guy looks like Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Right here, by the way. Okay, so they did a good job in those videos. Hopefully the volume crosses over. And I don't have to edit those videos out. I'm just going to scan down the article here. But yeah, they're going to give us a lot of paragraphs here, but I think they did a good job covering and giving us a lot of information in those videos. So I don't plan on reading on these articles. He underwent a second brain surgery in 2024 due to an infection, and since finishing radiation and chemotherapy treatment in October, undergoes MRIs every 2 months to ensure his tumor has not returned. His most recent scan in early April was clear, and the path forward is all about monitoring, as the recurrence rate for glioblastoma is about 90%, according to the glioblastoma profession. All right, so a lot of three grandchildren and 6 grandchildren. So that's a lot. So I guess we got sympathy with the character, right? These are just characters. I don't think we can really get too upset with these characters. Okay? They're playing roles. I'm not saying that these bad things can't happen to them, but they are playing roles. Sometimes we like to get all emotional over these characters, or they may say something we don't like or whatever. But keep in mind, these are just characters and these are just stories that we're getting. And obviously, these connections are undeniable. All right, so that's our breakdown. And again, I'm pre-recording these as I have a couple of long days at work. And I'm feeling a little better than when I woke up. Extremely tired. I slept about 3 hours past my alarm. I don't know. It's a good and a bad thing. Sometimes I don't feel good when I want to be up and I just continue to sleep. But I'm up and the work is in. Some undeniable connections here. So again, sympathy with the character. We're not overlooking. People do get cancer in life. But it's amazing how these stories hit by this code. Okay, so Michael Bolton breaks silence about his aggressive brain cancer. Diagnosis and emotional first interview. The singer opens up to people in this week's cover about facing his glioblastoma diagnosis with his family by his side and his sense of humor intact. Shout out to y'all. Until next time.